Hello and welcome to another episode of Beer Man's Noble Beer Reviews. It's been a little while since I've done a video review. I was in Pittsburgh for almost 2 weeks, so that was 2 weekends that I wasn't able to do a video. I don't even think I did one the weekend before, so I'm glad to be back at it. Today I have another beer from High Branch Brewing Company out of Concord, North Carolina. This one is called the Vanilla One. It says first rendition. The description, it says Imperial Stout with vanilla beans, and essentially the reason it's called the Vanilla One is this series is called The One, and then from what I understand, they're gonna have each version's gonna have like one additive to it. But the reason it's called The One is because they've been, I guess, toying with a bunch of different Imperial Stout recipes, and this is the one that they felt they finally found what they wanted to be the base for their Imperial Stout series. That's why this one's called the One. I don't know if you can see on the label, but it's a little like dark there. I think something might have happened where the cap got bumped and a tiny bit of beer came out of it. I hope that's not the case, and if it is the case, I have had scenarios where that happened, but it was so minor that it didn't, like, as long as I opened the beer quickly after it happened, which this was a couple days ago, it was fine. So I'm hoping that's the case, and that's why I'm reviewing it right now. To be honest, if there is an issue with it, this video will never get posted because it's not fair to them for me to do a review because that happened, because it wasn't a loose cap when they gave it to me. It was my mishandling. So if there is an issue with this, you'll never see it anyways. So yeah, it's Imperial Stout with vanilla beans, 11.4 ABV. I'm gonna crack it open and see what we got. And also, this was in a cooler with a couple other Imperial Stouts, so it is possible. So that was a good sign. It hissed. It's possible that one of those was actually the ones that were maybe leaking, and it just got onto this label because they were laying next to each other. So that's also a possibility too. I'm hoping one of those is the case. So that's a good sign. See, he has a nice, really dark head there. So it's definitely not flat. That's the first good sign. If it's not flat and it's not oxidized, then I feel pretty confident and safe in giving it a review. So I will say this probably has a slightly darker appearance than any stout that I've seen from them. It is very, very inky black, and the head itself also is darker than probably any stout I've seen from them. I mean, this is a darker tan head, like a legitimate brown color, not just like a beige. So my first impression is vanilla. There's a good bit of vanilla. It's definitely, real vanilla. It is not extracty, artificial, vanilla ice cream type aroma. There is a little bit of like dark baker's chocolate underneath there too. But honestly, no joke, it kind of smells like an Oreo. Just that vanilla cream and then that like bitter chocolate flavor that the cookie part has. So from what I'm assuming that they're going with this, it smells pretty good. It doesn't smell oxidized or anything like that, so I do feel safe giving it a review right now, unless I taste it and it's really off, which I don't think is going to be the case. So yeah, there's nothing about this that would make me believe that there was, that this had been oxidized or that the cap had come loose. So either A, it was very minor, or it was from another bottle. I don't know, but I feel comfortable giving it a legitimate rating. So the first thing I get up front, I would say, is alcohol and vanilla. Um, there's a little bit of like pruny dark fruit character in the middle, and then a really nice deep roasty, not over the top, not acrid, not burnt, but a nice roasty finish. I would say it's not super aggressive like, a really classic Russian Imperial Stout. It's not over the top hoppy or bitter or roasty, but it's definitely, I definitely would not say it's pastry stout or overly sweet or desserty either. I will say it has like a very slight metallic character to it, or it's almost like an alkalinity. But again, that's not something that I would liken to oxidation. It's just something that I do get from some stouts. And a lot of times when I get that, it's in coffee stouts or with stouts with cinnamon in them. So I don't know if it's a reaction type thing. I'm assuming not. But this doesn't have either one of those. um, I'm trying to remember what this cost too. I think it was $13 a bottle, just for reference. And the other, not only because of that popped open today, that's why or a couple days ago, or that I noticed the little stain on the front didn't pop open. The other reason I wanted to do it is because the second version of this came out today. And I picked a bottle up of that. That one's the coffee one, so I don't think I really need to describe that. It's pretty obvious. It's just a coffee version of this instead of vanilla. I think I'll probably like the coffee one better because these guys do coffee pretty well. Any other coffee stouts I've had from them, usually they're lesser, um, like lesser alcohol stouts. But a lot of times the coffee has like a nutty flavor, but I think that'll work well with this base. And I will say I'm not like the biggest vanilla fan either. I do still think this is a very good beer. And as it's just sitting on my mouth, I'm tasting the vanilla a lot more than when I actually drink it. And it's almost coming off as like a marshmallow flavor. Yeah, I kind of think, I rarely say this because I'm not a big sweet stout person, but I think this could actually use a little bit more sweetness. And I'm not saying this base stout should necessarily always have that sweetness, but with vanilla, I think it should. Vanilla is one of the two. So vanilla and coconut, for whatever reason, because those two things like I liken to dessert probably more than any other additive, just because um, anytime that's in something, it's like always sweet usually. Uh, those are like the two times that I really think that if they're in a stout, the stout should be at least somewhat sweet. I don't want it to be like Angry Chair sweet, but it shouldn't be dry. Because like vanilla or coffee and dry stouts sometimes to me is just really weird. It just doesn't work. And I'm not saying that's the case here. This is not that dry where it doesn't work, but I think if it was a little bit sweeter, it would be more desserty. And I think, well, other people would probably like it even more. But even me, I think it would work a little bit better because I think the vanilla sometimes just doesn't work with the bigger roasty stouts. One of the few exceptions I would say is Bell's Vanilla Black Note, but that's also barrel aged, so that's a whole other animal. Um, yeah, so on my scale of buy, drink, dump, um, I'm just gonna give this a drink because I don't love vanilla. I think they did a pretty good job with it. I will say the caveat in this is I'm just gonna give it a drink because I probably wouldn't buy the vanilla one again. Excuse me, but I do think it's a very good base beer. So the other versions that they do with other additives, I want to try. So I'm gonna. So that's the caveat. I would say it's a buy and a drink, depending on how you look at it. I know I said I already bought the coffee one without even having this, but that's because I trust these guys. But now that I had this, even more so, I'm glad that I bought the coffee one, and I will buy other ones going forward because I do think this is a good base, and I would like to see what else they can do with it. I just don't love vanilla by itself, so that's why I'm just going to give this a drink. But I do think it's well made, and I'll gladly drink the rest of it. It's still a good beer. But I think that's all I got on this one. Please like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you think, and I look forward to doing the next one. Thanks.